And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Today I'm going to be talking with a lady who is a dream and is creating and realizing a dream to change, well, so many people's lives and relieving pain, in creating hope. And her name is Tina Scales. And Tina is the owner of a company called Rosalie Organic Beauty. I've heard from other people that have used her products and had such amazing results with something as simple as pain in the knee and things like that. And I just went, I want to know more about someone who has been in corporate America for the last, several years. And a couple of years ago, she wanted to do something that would change others' lives as well. So, Tina, I want to talk to you about this program, this company that you've started, and I want to know its story. What's your story with this thing?
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate you having me on today. Well, Rosalie Organic Beauty started about 2 years ago. I unfortunately lost my grandson. He was stillborn, and we were super excited about that. And of course, those things that you do as a grandmother, trying to get prepared, and then you get that call. And so shortly thereafter, my daughter was pregnant again with Rosalie. And one of the things I wanted to do is to ensure that, she had the best. And so I started to look at, the products that were out there that are great. But I was getting into what are those other organic things that I can do to not only just, help the skin, but make sure it's doing some extra benefits. So I started to look into essential oils, started looking into more organic products, and I started making a body butter for her. So from the day that she was born, she's been using Rosalie Organic Beauty. And then my daughter had some friends. They were in show business, working their way up, and they were trying it and they were putting it on for photo shoots and they were enjoying that. And so my niece came in from college and she was like, "Well, Auntie, let's try selling it." And I'm like, "Well, okay, let's do it. If you guys think
the best business has been started with, well, okay,
yeah,
let's do it.
Let's try that out." So we went to the local farmers market there and we debuted Rosalie Organic Beauty, and I sold out.
Nice.
And so it was like, okay, well, maybe we can do this thing. So we started to look at it, and I started to again look into the ingredients a little bit more, look into the essential oils, and seeing the properties there that it could benefit. So we started whipping that up and just started making our way to all of the farmers market. Had the opportunity to do the business boutique out in Nashville in 2019, and we did very well there. Good response. One of the things that we have is what we call a pain relief butter, right? It just kind of like, you have your Bengay's and things that kind of help with just relieving pain. One lady stopped by our booth, and I kind of whipped that up in a butter, and so she went back to her hotel room. The next day she came back, and she was like, came and gave us a hug, and she was like, "Oh my God, I tried it and it really helped me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so maybe it's just not making your skin as beautiful as mine, but it has some other, properties to that." So that's one of the ones that we use. And then I have a girlfriend who, has some RA, again, medical stuff is for medical stuff, but we always look for other additional things that can help relieve us, and so our pain butter has been very beneficial for folks like that, and I love it. So it kind of keeps me inspired to continually, I keep saying, corporate America, doing technology, now I'm in the beauty business, but I'm taking those skill sets and applying the research and understanding of those things and applying it to RLO.
Well, you think about all the things that may have made you successful in corporate America, the things that are the determination, the vision, the mission, the ability to multitask and bring together teams of people. I mean, that makes sense. That why wouldn't you start your own thing? What I love about your story is that it started from your heart.
Yeah.
I want my granddaughter to have the very best. And so you started to create the very best for her. And you wanted it to be safe. And that makes a difference. And I know that as we go through the show today, I want to learn more about the who is really buying, the why, the what people you're going to be approaching with this product, because I know that will make a massive difference in the way that it rolls out. It sounds like the American dream. It really does. I had a mission, a vision, a purpose, and I implemented on it. Folks, we're talking to Tina Scales, and I'm telling you, this is a product that can change the way that that you live. Like, how about a lot less pain? How about a lot prettier skin? How about, you think business spotlight, I'm highlighting Tina because she's creating the American dream. Start with, what do they say the old stories are? It started in a garage.
Started in the kitchen.
It started in the kitchen. This is the Business Spotlight. We'll be right back. And welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Today, we're talking with Tina Scales. She is the owner of Rosalie Organic Beauty. And to hear her story, you'll love it. You'll love what she's doing, because she started in her kitchen to create something good for her granddaughter. And now everybody's going, I love this stuff. So let's talk about that. Who is loving this stuff right now? What kind of results are they seeing? What experiences are they having?
Sure, especially during the pandemic, we've all been kind of locked up at home. So those of us who loved a good old manicure and a pedicure, that totally ceased, right, for over a year. So we have a product called Foot So Soft. And I actually created this one because of my daughter, Gabby, right? She has, we call little Flintstone feet, right? Like you get out there and you think that she's been, doing that. She's going to kill me for saying that, but it's true. So looked for something to kind of help her out, for her feet. And so that's where we created the Foot So Soft. And so that really kind of, you just put that on your feet. You can also cover it up with the sock, and literally with the calluses and things like that, it really smooths over the skin. So I've had people say, you would not believe, after going to my, back to the person who does my pedicure, it's hard to believe that I haven't had one for over a year. So that's another one that's we really get rave reviews with. And then we have a young lady who has children who have very bad. If you go to our website, you'll see a couple of photos on our Instagram where her son, they just have super bad eczema. And again, the products are pure, and I think with eczema, again, it's just more or less moisturizing the skin. Of course, other medical, treatment is suggested. However, just like with anything dry skin, you want to put something on it to moisturize it. And it has worked for kids, helping to ease, some of the facial dryness on their skin that comes from eczema. So for me, again, that's why looking at the ingredients and understanding the ingredients, I think prior to doing Rosalie Organic Beauty, I picked up off the shelf what everybody else said, was the latest thing. I never gave any attention to what's in it. And I think that's important just in general, just in life, right? And I never say anyone's intentionally doing anything to harm anyone. I don't believe that. But we also have to know our bodies and know ourselves. So just as we would pause to take a look at the food ingredients to see what's within it, is that something that may not work for me well, but may be okay for you, Pat, right? So I want people to kind of start doing that same thing when it comes to your beauty products. And organic doesn't necessarily always mean better, right? There are certain things that are in there that are safe, but you don't know that unless you take the moment to look at the ingredients, understand the ingredients, and understand its purpose, right? Because if you understand the purpose, will it solve the problem that I'm having, right?
Well, and then you probably had to find, I think about some of the stuff, the ingredients that you read in certain products. And it could be something as simple as, I don't know, it doesn't matter what kind of rub you want to put on. And you're not going to have access to, fennel something red or blue or orange. You
That's
probably
right.
can't buy that on the shelf.
That's right.
But you could seek out the raw materials from, like, really, I mean, do you actually do that?
Yeah. So for me now, that's important. So I said, how do you have a name called Rosalie Organic Beauty if you're not taking the time and attention to be organic? And I think I'm using the term organic in multiple ways, like organic in the selection of criteria, but just organic in how we interact with our customers. That's important to me. That's why we enjoy doing farmers markets. Hated that when 2020 happened, because we get to interact. It was exciting to go and see people that would see us every week, and it would be our family. My granddaughter Rosalie would be running around,
Your
right?
group?
Our group, and it was like, hey, we created a tribe, and so that's important. Just being organic all the way. So in that, it's also understanding, where did that product come from, right? So now I'm challenging myself. I've met a young lady who sells shea butter, but she does it directly from Ghana. Her parents were doctors over there, and now they're in the States. And so she's created a factory in Ghana, and so they produce the shea butter. So that's who I work with. So now not only am I using a product that, okay, you can get organic shea butter, but I've made a conscious decision to kind of seek out that additional step to find out where it's coming from, who's benefiting from that.
Yeah. And then I know that as things go on, you want to make sure that you put physical eyes on these things, and that you have, you monitor all that stuff. But I love what you're doing. What are some of the other results that your clients or your customers are experiencing? I love to hear stories about that.
Sure. And again, I think for the no more oral pain relief, I would say, is what that one's called, is I think one of the ones that I've heard a lot more about. Again, I have some people who've had chronic situations going on, and it just helps, another avenue, right? So instead of a Bengay, we're going to just do a little butter. It has a little mix of a little essential oil. We're not medically claiming anything, but it's just a relief,
Yeah.
And people go, I was able to move around a little bit better. So that's always a thrill.
I love that. I know that, folks, hopefully you're getting some ideas, some hope that if Tina could do this, create an idea, create a business, starting in the kitchen, and touch so many lives, you can too. This is the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. Great show going today. Tina Scales is talking to us about how she created Rosalie Organic Beauty and the neat things that they're experiencing with that. And my business mind starts going and thinking, well, who's your ideal client? So I want to know that. Who's your ideal client?
Sure. It's that individual who's more or less that, I won't say a health nut, but just aware of what they're doing physically, and just want to be more conscious in that area, is one of our primary client, right? Those are those individuals who I mind that I'm maybe having a little bit too much gluten or a little bit too much sugar, and want to transition that same thinking into what they're putting on their body, right, as well. And then secondly, we're looking at the business to business, right? Again, through the pandemic, we've all kind of had to make shifts. And so I've seen friends who are, my daughter's an esthetician on the side, and then those who had to do, like I was mentioning early, pedicures, manicures, the folks in that area, as well as beauticians. That was their form of business, that they could no longer do that. So I really working now doing one-on-ones with groups like that, so that we can do private labeling. So we can consult together understand what it is, solution that you're trying to solve for your particular client, create that product, and then give them a means of sales afterwards. So if there were a situation where you couldn't get directly to them, your product can get directly to them.
Right.
So again, we want to do things for Rosalie Organic Beauty, but we want to spread that love and help see other businesses grow as well.
I love that, because it's in other industries they would call those joint ventures.
Yes.
Essentially, it's a collaborative process, and I love collaborative. Beyond the I want to call it the shops. You got the person.
Mm-hmm.
You got the shops.
Yes.
Do you want the big guys?
Yes, and okay.
Oh no, I just want to turn that money away. No,
I don't want to turn that away, but I also know that brings its own challenge, right? And so, for me, I keep going back to Rosalie Organic Beauty. I want to be able to continue to do that, and if I can stay true to who we are and what we present to that consumer, absolutely. I'm constantly trying to see, what programs they have out there, but that's important to me. And I want people to know when we put our product together, it's not just important for me to have it on the shelf at Target, right? It's important for me that you have a good product. And if I have to compromise that product, then I'd rather work with you one-on-one or send you to one of our other smaller businesses that we're working for, that we can keep the integrity of what we're doing.
Well, it's I love what you're doing, because when you start to run with the big boys, you better have the size
right
to handle it, because otherwise you're kind of you squish, you're like a bug
yes.
to them, and that's what they'll do. They'll just crush you in a heartbeat, and you want to sit there and say, no, I love the organic. I just want it to go organic. And I hope you're seeing the lesson on that, folks.
Yeah.
If you've got a vision, if you got a dream, if you got a passion that you want to bring out, that you want to birth and serve a lot of people and change some lives like Tina has, then by all means, take action. I always love to say, information with implementation creates transformation. People that take action get results. Information without implementation is a waste of time. Anyways, we got one more section of this that I know you're going to love. Talking to Tina Scales about what she's doing, how she's changing lives. This is the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. We'll see you in a few minutes. And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Pat Dewar. And today we're talking with Tina Scales and about her business, organic. It's Rosalie Organic Beauty. Yeah. And I'm really intrigued by what she's created. And what I want to go into in this segment is who should be reaching out to you?
Sure.
Who should be connecting to you? And how do they do that? And what do you do to make sure that is an organic engagement?
Absolutely. So if you are a esthetician, if you are a nail salon, if you are even a tattoo artist, right?
Oh, yeah.
People, they get tattoos and putting the butter, the paint oil on that really can help with that as well.
Wish I knew you a few years ago.
And it kind of brings it back to life. Again, it's about moisturizing that area. So if you're any one of those and you're like, gosh, I wish I had a product that kind of represents what I'm doing in my shop, call me or reach out to us at rosalieorganicbeauty.com or rosalieorganicbeauty@gmail.com, and we can discuss and talk about collaborating, looking for those things, and we can kind of facilitate putting something together that you can sell in your business and then make additional money, but also fit the need of your client, right?
Well, isn't that something that, like, even at the different flea markets and things like that, or local gatherings, how easy is it for you to go in there, offer your stuff, build a good name, and then have others begin to buy the product to sell in their place, and you can move on to other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's that
Yes.
it's that plant a seed, let it grow, and then move on so that you can continue to organically grow this.
Yeah, and Pat, I'm glad you brought that up. Again, COVID kind of had that whole shift, right? So those of you who are doing a business and running a full-time job, I understand that. And then I decided to go back to school at the same time. So
Nice.
you know,
You haven't slept in a year.
I haven't slept. You know, a little challenge never hurt anybody, right? So I have a friend of mine who really loves it, again, for her RA, who's out in Augusta. So the plan is, starting in June, I will be spending some time in Augusta, and I will be doing just that. We'll be setting up shop we found a place there where we can have the product there and start to curate those relationships, right? In Augusta, I'll leave Augusta, and then I will be making my way to Louisiana. I have family there who also enjoy the product, and there's a spot there, road trip. And again, how do I get in front of people? Because again, I have a website and I get all about the internet. I think it's all wonderful to get in front of people and share information. But I like that interaction. I like to say, hey, Pat, how did that work for you? What's not working well? I had a client, I have my lip balms in a little tin. And so she went to Chicago and she goes, you know what would make that great? Is if I could get it in the little twist up. And I'm like, okay.
Like, why not?
Well, why not? Let's try that out, right? So I want that feedback, right? And I want people to feel like they have a say in that. You know what I mean? It's important to me. Again, you can say organic in a lot of different ways, but I want it to be truly, when I say Rosalie organic, again, not only in the products that we use, but also in how we interact. Right? And how we interact. So of course, yes, we're going to have our little Facebook. Yes, we'll do some videos. That's part of the nature of the business. But you really want to connect, right? And again, I get great joy when people get to see us out and see us. And then again, I can get that feedback, because who am I doing it for? I started to doing it for my granddaughter, and I just want to extend that family out even larger. We call it the RLO family.
You want a new tribe, but you want to do it in a way that feels like, hey, we know everybody in our people.
That's it.
We know them.
That's
it isn't just. Yeah, I love that. I've seen it. It's funny, but I've seen so many success stories on a one, kind of. I'll just say, at this point, I can't really even say the product without everybody knowing exactly what I'm talking about. But I know their story was they went around to different, fairs, and they sold their, offered their stuff, showed it off, people bought, and then because it's an exceptional product, people kept coming back and asking for it over and over and over again. And, today they're a multi-million-dollar, entity. And so, yeah, I love what you're doing. I think so. In the next, can I ask, where do you see it in a few years?
In a few years, I see us now making that organic transfer of getting out there in different locations, being Augusta, Louisiana, California, from where I'm at, and actually manufacturing ourselves, right? That was the other big thing. They're like, who's your distributor? Who's going to do that? And I'm me. And I go, again,
I don't sleep, I stir this stuff up at night.
I'm not an overachiever at all, right? And the reason for that, in doing my research, it's expensive to do. And my goal is to be able to have enough success that I can help others out there who are trying to do the same thing, right? It's really having that community. It's really growing that, so that if someone else has a need, that I can structure it in such a way that I can do small batches, that I can help other small businesses who are looking to do that, be able to bring in, the chemists that can come in and assist. That would make me extremely happy, right? People always say, oh, well, somebody else is doing that. That's okay. There's enough to go around. Like, that's fine.
I agree. I mean, the beauty of it is that it is so versatile. You can shift and pivot.
Yes.
And there's an attractiveness. A lot of people are attracted to somebody that'll allow things to be shifted. There are, gosh, how many industries? Everything from people that have microbreweries through, I don't know, I'm thinking of, like pipe tobacco and vape and this and that and the other and all these different things so all you're doing is just taking the same idea, but making sure that the products that you use are stuff that you're going to find. They're organic. They're truly free of the other stuff.
Free of the other stuff. And then being informed, like we say, IPA, the ingredient, the purpose, and the application. And whether you're using Rosalie Organic Beauty or any other product, that's our thing, is to be informed, right? They always say the more information you have, the better decisions you can make, and just be informed. And so we want to be transparent enough that can happen.
Now, I understand, I think you're also are you working on a book?
I am. We're working on a book.
Do you have the name for the book?
Not yet. It's soon.
It's okay.
It's coming. It's coming.
Watch for the forthcoming book from Tina Scales. And hey, folks, I hope that you reach out to Tina. If nothing else, follow her, learn from her, and then invest in her products. Let her know how it works for you. The Business Spotlight is all about highlighting a business, really shining a good light on what they're doing and how they're unique. And starting from a dream and a vision to take care of a grandbaby, all the way out to touching towns and in the future of the nation. Tina, thank you so much for being on the show. And folks, we'll catch you next time on the Business Spotlight. This is Pat Dewar. Have a good one.